So one of the things you have to be able to do well if you're going to successfully use a checkbook is keep what's called a checkbook register. It's basically a little book that you keep in your checkbook with your checks where you record all of your different transactions, all of your deposits, all of your withdrawals, checks you write, trips to the ATM, anything that moves money into or takes money out of your checking account. I don't actually have my checkbook with me today, or I would show you what mine looks like, but this picture right here, the um, the checkbook register is usually, well, it's this little book right here. And what it looks like is a spreadsheet, and you just hand record all of this stuff. Now, my bank that I currently use also does a really good job of letting me access my account online, and it kind of breaks down this spreadsheet looking thing where I can also have a copy of it online. But um, the big takeaway from this is that there's not necessarily a right way or a wrong way to record these. You'll kind of come up with your own shorthand for different things, where you can make abbreviations and kind of make it go a little bit quicker. But today I'm going to show you like the most, what I think is the most efficient way and probably the most thorough way to record all your transactions. So um, there's a couple of things that you need to know. The big word here is balance. The balance is how much money you have in your account at any one time, whether it's before you've made a transaction or afterwards, a deposit, a withdrawal. All those things affect your balance. Now, I've kind of set up this isn't really a formula down here, but kind of an idea of what you're going to be doing. Your previous balance it could mean a couple of different things. It could be like going into January, maybe the balance you had at the end of December the year before. Or it could be from one page to the next, because when you get to the end of the spreadsheet or the bottom of this page in the booklet, you'll need to turn the page to get to another page, and you would carry over the balance from the previous page. So that's for what we're going to be doing. That's what I mean by previous balance. So like we're carrying it over and starting a new page. From your balance, you're going to subtract off the value of any checks that you write. So, you go to Casey's and buy gas and you write a check for it, that will get subtracted out of your account. Any sort of transfers, if you move money from one account to another, or like if you did an online bill pay, that's considered a transfer. A lot of times it's called an automatic transfer. Like I have our car payments set up to automatically pay at the right time every month. I've not once physically written a check for my current car payment. I got that first bill, I set up automatic payments, and my bank just does it every single month. And then lastly, probably the one that you could figure out the easiest is any deposits are going to get added on. So basically, you're going to have to kind of read the scenario and determine if the dollar amount is going to get subtracted off or added back on. So the big kicker, the big clue is the word deposit. If you are depositing money, it's going to get added on. So basically, this is going to be filling out a spreadsheet. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit what your homework looks like. And I've got it set up where I think it's going to be pretty easy. Like I said, normally you would do this in hand, by hand. Like as soon as you write a check or whatever, you would record this right away. So this is what a check register looks like. It's a very small snippet, though. You have to keep in mind these things are like, multiple lines long, and it's there for you to record months and months and months worth of information. So Margaret Miller's checking account had a balance of $313.54. That is the balance being brought forward from the previous month, possibly. Okay, so it looks like our first check is going to get written March 2nd. So this would be how much money she had in her bank at the end of February. Or possibly, like I said, she's starting a new page in her register and she needs to carry that over so you're not having to flip back and forth. Okay, so her balance of $313.54. So that's being brought forward, either forward from the previous month or the previous page. She wrote check number 375, right? You notice this column says check number, so I'm literally going to put my check number there. To Target for $45.78. That is a payment. That is money coming out of her account, so that is getting debited from her account. And then lastly, it says on March 2nd. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this in any order. And I don't even know if every checkbook register is formatted the same way. like the check number first and then the date. And then this is just the example that I had. The bank made an automatic transfer. Okay. I would personally record that out here as a check number. Automatic transfer of $52.55. That's again money coming out, $52.55, to pay her bill to Verizon on March 5th. Okay. Okay, she made a deposit on March 10th. So that is the 10th. A deposit. All right, a deposit of $240.32. So I'm going to put that dollar amount in here, and I'm going to skip over to the deposit column. $240.32. Okay, so it's not really feasible to every single time you make an entry. She's standing in line at Target. She writes this check. She's not going to sit there and fill out her new balance after she's written a check. So this isn't necessarily something you do after every single transaction, but I wouldn't go too long. I mean, this is almost a week's span of money going in and out of her account. What we're going to do now is we're going to figure out the balance after each transaction. So she started with $313.54 here, and then she wrote a check for $45.78. All of the numbers listed in the payment and debit column are going to get subtracted. Everything listed in the deposit column is going to get added, and you're going to record your answer after each transaction. So I'm going to start with my balance of $313.54, and I'm going to subtract off $45.78. That's going to leave me, $267.76. So you should have something in the balance column after every single transaction. All right. And then after that, her purchase at Target, she has that transfer to Verizon. So I'm going to subtract off $52.55. That's going to give me a new balance of $215.21. And then lastly, she's got this deposit here, the last thing, of $240.32, which gives us a total at the end of $255.53. Now, your homework is set up just like this, but I've actually set it up in a spreadsheet. So you basically just record the numbers in the right spot. You don't have to do text boxes or any of that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you exactly what the assignment looks like. This is what your homework looks like. I've got a lot of the information filled out here. When you go in and type in your correct answer, so this first one is $448.35 was her beginning balance, and then she wrote a check to Aqua for her water. So now she's at $401.43. It should turn to sell green if it's correct. So anything you put over here in this balance column will turn green if it's right. Now, number 2 down here, you've got a little bit more information to fill in. I didn't give you the beginning balance. I didn't give you the different amounts here. They're all up here in this text. You fill in the boxes. But again, it'll turn green if it's correct. And then on the last one, number 3 here, I've left these blanks, and this is to see who's watching the videos or not. I've left these blanks out here on the left where the check numbers would go. I left those out. You'll need to put in the check numbers for those boxes to turn green.